Welcome back to my page. This is 365 days of writing a short story every day until I become a better storyteller, artist, writer. We at day 87, and this story is called By the Sword. They say every man in that life thinks he's in control until the moment control is taken from him. This was his last war. Bullets tore through the air like angry spirits, glass exploding, metal screaming, cars riddled with holes. Voices were there, but swallowed by gunfire. Fear lived on every face. One of his men dropped beside him, glass slicing across his forehead. Blood poured into his eye, turning the world into a blur. Half blind, but still breathing, still fighting. He looked down at his hand, tight around his Beretta 80X Cheetah. Steady, because in moments like this, timing was everything. Around them, civilians curled on the ground. Others ran, chasing safety. But there was none here. One by one, both sides fell. Then, silence. Just for a second, the enemy was reloading. That was his moment. He rose slowly, crouching around the truck. And then he saw him, the man, the one who took his niece's life. The world around them faded, colors bleeding like water. No chaos, no noise, just two men and everything between them. He raised his weapon and fired. Each shot carried years of pain, grief, rage, loss. The final shots of a long war. The man collapsed, body shaking on the pavement. He walked over. Slow, heavy. They locked eyes one last time. No words, just understanding. Blood spilled from the man's mouth. Acceptance, settling in. The sword had been delivered. Thunder cracked. Rain followed. Police sirens bled into the distance. He stood there, tears cutting through the dirt on his face. Not from victory, from realization. He stepped into the street. Officers aimed at him, shouting commands, but he didn't hear them. He raised his arms, wide like a cross, then dropped to his knees. And as his gun slipped from his hand, it didn't feel like a gun anymore. It felt like a sword finally laid down. In that moment, he understood everything. The life, the cost, the warnings his mother gave him, the memory of his niece, and something greater than all of it, God. They say he didn't surrender to the police. He surrendered to the truth. Because in the end, every man who lives by the sword dies by the sword, feels lost by the sword, or finally decides to put the sword down.